Yeah, hello everyone. Once again, we welcome to FTGFs Lounge. And as we always do, what we do is that we do have conversations with industry key players. Okay, the same way we have for the sports guys, politicians. When it comes to the financial market, trading space, we have names that you can't bypass. So, funny enough, the person I have here today, the first time I actually saw his name, I was like, we have a legend in our country, a hero in our country bearing the same name, Michael Essien. So, but before we even continue, Essien, are you a Ghanaian? Do you have
No,
maybe a family or
at all. I'm
Hey,
not a Ghanaian.
what?
I'm a Nigerian.
Ah, but you know we have a Michael Essien here. He's a
I'm a
footballer.
fan of Michael Essien of Ghana. Yeah.
Interesting, yes. So we have Michael Essien here, who is into educating traders. He has been in the industry for a while now, so he understands it better. As a result of that, he has a trading academy, which I know my Meota. He would
Milton.
explain further. And then when it comes to expanding brokers, business in Africa, like introducing brokers and growing business for brokers to he plays a very key role. Today we have Michael Essien with us today. Essien, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Dakosta. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, and yeah, we feel much honored to also have you here. Um, First of all, before we even delve more into the conversations, do you think brokers do take, let's say, Africans for granted? Why? Because maybe they will be in Cyprus, America, all the European countries. They would look for IBs, introducing brokers here in Africa
Right.
as partners, where these partners will help them grow here. Because most of the people here would use their products when they see that, okay, ACN is from Nigeria. He is like, you are like the face of the broker in the
Yeah.
country. At the point, if the broker decides to make a decision, fold up, or take any decision which might affect the clients in Nigeria or the people that you brought on board or you
Right.
recruited,
Yeah.
maybe most of the time they wouldn't even include you in decision making. So do you think they take IBs or because you are in that space? Do you think they take them for granted, or what's your take on that?
Well, thank you very much for having me once
Yes.
again. Well,
Yes.
if I want to be straight with answering that question, I will say yes. A lot of them take
Okay.
Africans IBs for granted, and
Okay.
I don't know for what for some reason I don't know why that is so. But since I've
Okay.
been in the industry for about 9 years now, I can say from my observation that largely a lot of them take, Africans, business developers here, whether IBs, whether managers, a lot of them for granted.
Yes.
Definitely,
There's a popular saying that you are addressed by how you dress. I don't know whether you've heard that before.
definitely.
Yes. Do you think taking for granted the IBs also play a role in that for the companies to take them for granted?
Yes, thank you for having this interview. I think I really need to speak about this issue because if you notice, that
Yes.
is where I try to talk more often.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, there is in quotes, uh, a bad image for some of us here that are Africans when it comes to
Okay.
honesty in business. And I think that plays a crucial, part of the narrative we're experiencing. Having said that,
Okay.
the IBs in Nigeria, or maybe let's say in Africa generally, they have a role. They've also caused what is happening right now, with,
Okay.
in quotes, saying that brokers take some of us here for granted. Because, for example, I don't know where we got it wrong. A lot of IBs today are becoming very smart, trickily smart in terms of, trying to outsmart or to play a broker. And when sometimes
Okay.
funds are given to them, they don't seem to deliver. And that has
Okay.
injected a lot of fears with other brokers who want to do business in Africa. And that's why you see things like,
Okay.
well, we don't trust you guys. You bring business first, and then we can see we can do
Yes.
business with you. So that is, it's a
Yes.
two-way thing. The IBs have contributed largely to what we are facing today. And of course,
Okay.
brokers have no choice. They also have to be careful with their business. But largely, it's a two-way thing, like I said. Brokers take IBs for granted. For those IBs that are serious and those that are genuine, some of them are taken for granted because of some of the experiences they've encountered in the past. So that's the way it
Yes.
is.
Yes. Which I think I agree with you on that level. But do you also think that maybe some of the targets from let's say the
Brokers,
brokers, okay, it doesn't mean that okay the IB wants to work,
yeah,
but looking at the target from the broker, he
mm,
or she might not be able to meet that target.
exactly,
However, he or she still needs funding, like needs to work. So then, as a result
exactly.
of that, let me just say, okay, I can do it and take the money. And then, do you think do you think also the brokers also play part in the targets? Maybe the targets are not
True,
realistic enough,
exactly.
or maybe the brokers are in a rush to make profit like as soon as
As soon as possible,
possible
yeah.
with
Mm,
without maybe positioning whoever they are using as an IB for a
okay,
longer term kind of business. Do you think
thank you.
the brokers have also contributed to that? Is
Exactly. In fact, let me share a very personal experience. I think a few months ago, I've forgotten the name
right?
of the broker. The
Yeah.
broker reached out to me and said, I like what you're doing. I want you to come on board and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, it's fine, but this is how I work. And the broker said, well,
Yeah.
we're going to support your business and what you're doing if you can give us $200,000 in the first 1 month. Think about that. It was crazy.
Right.
I just laughed and I
Right.
said, wow, $200,000 deposit in the first
Yes.
1 month. Are you for real? He said, yes, he's for real. And I mean, there are people who can do that. And I said, well, you are talking to the wrong person because it looks like you're in a hurry to take money from somewhere and then go away.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yes.
Sometimes most of them are not sincere. It takes time to build something that is genuine. It takes time to build something
Okay.
that is solid. When you rush an
Yes.
IB, most of these IB are desperate. They just want to have money to play around with. So
Mm-hmm.
by the time you tell
Yes.
them, can you do $40,000, $50,000? Well, is it possible to do? Yes, I do that in a month personally, sometimes more than that.
Okay.
Most
Okay.
of the time more than that. But if you are
Okay.
a new broker, so to say, and you are just engaging with
Yeah.
an IB, forget about what the IB has done because it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
introducing you to as a new partner to his community or to a new. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't
Yes, I get it.
expect or don't put forward some outrageous numbers or targets because that alone for
Yes.
some persons is discouraging. So at the end of the day, the
Okay.
person not able to meet that milestone, and you would think the person scammed you, and I already funded it. So what I think
Mm-hmm.
they are getting wrong is that if you have the interest of a long-term business, just be willing to grow with the IB, right?
Okay.
Let the IB do what he can do. Now, let me say this, Mr.
Okay.
Dacosta.
All
I've
right.
always said this. Every client is important. Whether you are
Mm-hmm.
uh, a low deposit client or a high deposit client, it doesn't change anything. Every client is
Right.
important. Now, I think
Right.
I've shared this experience some time back. I had a client I was investing so much of value into, and by the time
Okay.
he came
Okay.
on board, he started with $55. I wasn't discouraged.
Okay.
But when you quantify the value I was giving to him, the trainings, the going to meet and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, After all of this is $55 you're funding." Whoa. I didn't even
$55.
say that.
Yes.
I just took it. I said, okay, it's a good start. Don't worry, go ahead. And I was supporting him and everything. As I speak with you today,
Yeah.
that particular client is holding almost 30 something thousand dollars. He has brought in a lot of people
Wow.
apart from himself.
Okay.
That's the point. So you
Okay.
see, sometimes it takes
Yeah.
time, and this thing took almost 6 months. I didn't give up. Just one client. I'm not talking about
Ah.
other ones who share the same experience. So when the
One.
broker comes to you and
Yes.
said, "I want this kind of money," for God's sake, you are just deceiving yourself. Be willing to work with
Yes.
an IB that has long-term interest. All right. Today, by the grace of God,
Okay.
I'm one of the top partners with Dairy. I've been with Dairy for about 8 years as a partner. When I
Okay.
started, the
Okay.
deposit were nothing to write home about, with just little. But over time, we've been
Mm-hmm.
able to do some very crazy, deposits and all of that.
Numbers.
And they, thanks to David,
Yeah.
they appreciate all of those efforts a lot. So that's what it is. It's long
Yeah.
term. So when you see an IBIS that says we
Yes.
can do this number, man, you have to be careful. Not everybody can actually
Yeah.
do what they say. Yeah.
Exactly. Which I really appreciate this view because, like I said, I've also had conversations with friends, IBs, and people who have also had offers like that. But the truth is that, like you said, one guy told me, "See, the thing I can't do, but I'll take the money." Do you get
Yeah,
it? So it's some way, and then like you said, so when that happens, the brokers now feel like, okay, you people, we can't trust you, so we
mm,
need to also, I mean, put some strain sort of thing on you. So I think it's a two-way thing. We all need to play our
yeah,
part and then see the way
yeah.
forward. But for you, I've been following your works. You are doing a great job, and is much
Thank you.
appreciated. Like from because it's not an easy job growing a
Yeah,
business and in a space where we've had a lot of influencers saying things that they can't deliver, which makes the industry sort of a scam or a fraud or
honestly,
whatever. It makes
it's
it
a big issue.
so it's a big issue. So you in this space recruiting people for brokers, how do you position yourself in such a way that people will not tag you in that way? Like, okay, maybe they've had bad experience with some people. Let's say, for instance, the
Yeah.
broker is leaving or folding up. How do you
Okay.
manage this, or how? Yes, what system do you have? Because so that people are scared to come in that space to recruit people for brokers. So, for you being an
Okay.
experienced person, how can people, yes, also learn from that?
Okay. First, I'd like to answer that question by sharing a little background story of myself so that to
All
help
right.
people that may come across this.
Okay.
First, I've always
Okay.
said there are two approach to forex or to the financial market when you are a participant. We have the influencer forex and we have the family model forex. I practice the family
Okay.
model forex, not the influencer one.
Okay.
Now, but a lot of people are
Okay.
caught up with the influencer one where you need to show things, just to
Mm-hmm.
prove that you're really making it. And
Yes.
by that, you lure a lot of people and all sorts. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to go that
Yeah.
path. I had the opportunity to do that. I would have been one of the most
Okay.
influential persons today, but somehow
Okay.
I think my path was a little bit shifted. Now, why did I say that?
Okay.
People want to see that you are genuine, all right? And even if there
Yes.
are problems, okay, they want to be sure that you are genuine. For example,
Okay.
let me quickly say this. When I started my journey, right, I I
Mm-hmm.
didn't there was no need to come out public and to show up because of
Okay.
my own personal family background. I came from a place
Okay.
where everybody at home saw forex as a scam. So there was no way I could talk about it at home. I was just doing it
Right.
secretly because my mom was a victim of forex scam.
Oh.
Right. So
Okay.
exactly. So she was depressed for 3 months. Thank God my father was alive at the time.
Ah.
So it was a difficult moment. So if you talk about forex, my mother would definitely want. It's going to be a problem. So when I came back
Yeah.
from my youth service, I got involved. I remember that I asked her she should lend me some money at the time. She said, "What for?" I said, "I want to do investment, some business stuff." And so, well, she was able to raise some money from me. That's how I started. That's how I started
Okay.
my journey. To cut a long story
Okay.
short, I'm trying to answer your question. You see, people have to
Yes.
see, people should be able to track your growth, your journey with them.
Okay.
They should be able to go back to when
Okay.
you started. Your story
Okay.
should not be shadowy, it should be solid. This is where you started.
Mm-hmm.
This is your
Okay.
failures. And so when you are
Okay.
meeting people, like I meet a lot of high net worth clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to be
Yeah.
honest. You have to be sincere. What you can do,
Yes.
tell them you can do. What you can't do, tell them you
Right.
can do. From the very get go, I will tell you it's risky. You can lose your money. I let you know what is
Right.
involved. That look, this broker that I'm bringing to you, I don't work with them. I'm only promoting them. I don't know what they do, but I trust them for this reason,
Okay.
for this reason, for this reason. In case anything
Okay.
happens, we are into this together. I say that
Oh.
so that anything will not
Okay.
happen tomorrow. And you say, because of course, let me say this. Something happened with my
Mm-hmm.
coins broker, and then one of my clients said, I don't know them. It's you that I know. You must give me my money. I think I
Uh-huh.
talked about it on LinkedIn one of those days. And I'm like, no, I try to explain. This is what it is. So you see, the problem we have with many of these influencer forex people are they are
Mm-hmm.
so on the surface. They are not ready to go
Okay.
deep to make you understand that everything here, this is what it is, the risk involved and all of that. So that's why I
Okay.
said I practice the family model because I'm a family man. So I have to always consider other people. and said, look, this is what
Yes.
it is. So I have to keep, of course, I don't have anywhere to run to. I'm a citizen of Nigeria. I have no other,
Right.
place to go to. So
Yeah.
you have to be honest at best. That's what people see. So when they see that you're
Okay.
honest, referral is easy. I mean, a few
Okay.
days ago, I met somebody that, sorry, I'll conclude now. I met somebody that said,
No.
uh, that was skeptical. He was listening to my program on
Okay.
radio and said, I've been listening to your
Okay.
program on Forex Matters. I want you to come. I want to see you because I know you guys are full of scam and all of that. So I didn't mind. I went and saw him,
Yes.
drove for 2 hours, and eventually went to see him.
Ah.
And he's
Okay.
a retired barrister. He's a retired legal person. And then we sat down,
Okay.
offered me drink, and I sat down with him. And after a lot of conversation, he funded with $800 there and then. Now, that is not
Okay.
even the point. When he
Okay.
finished, and almost immediately we started trading, he told me, I see the way you're sincere. You're very
Okay.
sincere. I'm going to link you up with a
Okay.
lot of my friends so that they can do these things.
Okay.
And that's what it is.
Okay.
So it's not about
Okay.
trying to be flamboyant that convinces
Mm-hmm.
people. No, Nigerians are intelligent people.
Yes.
Africans are intelligent people. They want to see your
Yes.
true honesty, that you're genuine
Yes.
and that you mean for them
Yes.
to be successful. Because my concern is not about personal money. I really want people to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, my clients
Right.
must make
Right.
money, and that is what keeps me
Mm-hmm.
going. So that's what it is, I think.
Going. Yeah. Yeah. Which makes a lot of sense, like you said. And then in as a result of that, to be able to convince somebody, like I always say, you can't give what you don't have.
You
So
don't have it.
you need to educate the person, the risk involved, and all of that. Before you can tell somebody that this is risky, it means that you have also encountered the risk involved and you know the ins and
Exactly.
outs of this whole business. So then it will then take us
That's correct.
back to how you started trading, your experiences in trading. How bad was it? And what transitioned, like what changed you from being a bad trader to a good one and doing
Okay.
business now? Yeah.
Thank you. It's
Right.
interesting. Well, I
Yeah.
started my trading journey February 1st, 2015. But
Okay.
I became more active the next year, around that same February 2016. That was by that time I was done with my NYC. So what
Okay.
we call National Youth Service Corps in Nigeria.
You're
So and then
right.
I started. I remember that when I started my journey, I started with $300. Like I said, my
Okay.
mom had to sell her generator to give me $100. I had $100
Ah.
of my own. I think my auntie gave me $100. So then dollar was not as high as it is today. So I think I
Mm-hmm.
started my journey there. But before I started, I
Yeah.
spent like
But
almost
yeah,
a year.
yeah, but quick one before you go. Quick one, please. So, you said your mom was like she was scammed at some point in this forex trading stuff.
Yes. Yeah,
Why did you
exactly.
decide? Like, why did you then decide to still do it? Why? Because something bad happened to
Okay.
mom, and then you still decided to. Yes.
Well, when that happened to mom, I think I was still
Yeah.
in my junior secondary school. I
Okay.
know the story. She didn't trade.
Okay.
She invested in a company that said they were doing forex. And then when it was
Okay.
time for her to get a return on investment, they
Returns.
disappeared with all the money. So, and it was
Okay.
almost her entire savings at the time. So
Ah.
when I got to school and then I started hearing about forex while I was in my NYC and all this stuff. I said, but this is not what happened to my mom. It's as
Okay.
if it's forex is scamming itself. I said, no, it's the people who are using it to
Okay.
scam people.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
luckily for me, I got in contact with Stanley Lechizi. I don't know if you know him. He
Okay.
was one of
Yeah,
the
is it South
hottest guy at
African?
the time.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, South African guy. I didn't meet him in
Yes.
person. I later met him after a while.
Okay.
But I used to
Okay.
watch his YouTube videos, and those
Okay.
inspired me so much. And I was like, whoa, I
Okay.
think I need to do what this guy is doing. So that was where it started
Mm-hmm.
for me. So I announced to my
Okay.
mom, I need some money. I didn't tell her what I wanted to do with it. So she said,
Okay.
you want to do business? Because I was done with school. And of course, I got a job at the time. Um, and she said, okay, no problem. She gave me the money, $100. At the time, it wasn't much money as it is today. So
Okay.
I started the journey there. But prior to that time, before the money came, Remember, I started in 2015. I had learned for almost a year.
Yes.
I didn't fund, was just doing demo
Okay.
and all that. So in 2016 was when I funded an account and I started the journey. I grew that account
Okay.
to about $24,000 in
Ah,
in about a year plus again. Yes,
is it
my first
the
time.
$300
And
dollars?
exactly, but it took me almost a year and
Ah,
3 months. Exactly. That's my story.
wow.
So I still have the account till today, as in the history of the account, all of that, because I keep record. I keep record of those things. It's still there.
Okay.
And
So,
but
mm-hmm.
it wasn't a smooth ride. Actually,
Right.
there were times I would make, yes, trade. Sometimes I would say most of the time I was lucky. I was lucky.
Okay.
Okay, but
Okay.
I was very
Okay.
meticulous. So somehow I grew to that amount. But let me tell you
Okay.
one thing that happened with me. I think I was very lucky. I would
Mm-hmm.
say, because I
Okay.
don't know. I will not, judging from my experience today. I was lucky. I didn't know my left from my right that much.
Yes, for
Why I
my
say so is
yes.
because I remember very well that I was using Bollinger Band, indicator called Bollinger
Okay.
Band then.
Yes.
The idea of price action was not there. If you check back 2016, 2015, 2016, we didn't have a lot of resources
Yes.
we have today as we have them in
Yes.
on YouTube. So it was largely
Yes.
PDF. And then I still
Yes.
wanted to learn more. Then IML came, right? And
Mm.
then I
Yeah.
subscribed to IML Academy. I keep learning. So
Okay.
it was more like a trial and error. But how I grew that money
Okay.
is still a miracle. Because I remember one time how I woke up and I saw $8,000 profit on gold. I didn't know that gold is
Wow.
that volatile. So there was no,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know much. I just, sometimes there is this saying that says that sometimes fortune favors the fool. In some time, I
Mm-hmm.
was,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just, within that
Mm-hmm.
1 year and a few months, it was like a miracle for me.
Yeah.
So do you
Yeah.
know what happened?
Yeah.
That
Right.
result
Tell me.
launched me out. People were amazed.
Okay.
The people that were in IML circle at the time saw what I was doing and they're
Yeah.
like, Mike, you must be very good. So I started traveling
Yeah.
around my country, teaching people all I knew about, I used to call it the BB
Oh.
strategy, Bollinger Band strategy. Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I knew.
Okay.
And I was teaching. I was going from places to places. They would pay my flight ticket. I was just and in my mind, I thought I have arrived. So when,
Yeah.
yes, when people so much believed in me at the time, and then
Yes.
I started a company, an investment company,
Okay.
because I was making so
Okay.
much money. I thought I knew a lot. So I started an investment company.
Okay.
And guess what? A lot of investors came. I think I've written this story on my
Oh.
LinkedIn. It's there. And then
Okay.
I started collecting money from investors to trade for them and then to pay them
Right.
return on investment on weekly basis. Weekly. Some of them was
Ah,
paying
that was
10% per
going to
week.
be
I'm not kidding. I'm
ah,
not joking.
that was going to be a lot
True
of
life
pressure.
story.
But I understand, yes.
My
But
brother.
yeah.
You know that time you just no mentor, no guidance.
Yes.
I was just running.
Yes.
So cut a long story short, the money that I got was too much. So I needed a partnership team. So I got involved with another
Okay.
a group of guys who were also doing forex at the
Okay.
time. And we
Okay.
got into partnership. My company was registered, it's still there, now Multilinks Investment Limited. My brother,
Okay.
when I got into that partnership, we lost money like was no man's business. People's money.
Hey.
And everybody, all
Then
the investors, they knew me, not my partners. So nobody was talking
then
to anybody. They were talking to me.
yes, it
So
was
I
you.
sent a memo
Yes.
to, yes, it's me. So that's why I keep writing. Don't take money from people to trade, no matter how good you think you are. And then
Yes.
eventually, most especially if you're starting, anyways, eventually
Yeah.
I had to start paying back. It was crazy.
Hey.
We closed down the
Yeah.
company. A lot of debt was on my head. And it took me almost 4 years to clear those debts because I was
To clear
depressed
the
at some
debt.
point. I was tired. Yes, it took me almost 4 years to clear those debts. It was terrible. But then
Wow.
people trusted me
Wow.
because I was sincere. I told them everything that happened. They still bring money to me. Oh, they were still bringing money. Don't worry, you will recover. Trade, continue to trade. This is not your mistake. It's not your fault. So it was a
Yeah.
depressing period. Man, it almost cost
Yeah.
my marriage because it was a terrible. So I
Mm-hmm.
tell people this is the honest truth. Thank God for a
Yeah.
supporting wife. It
Mm-hmm.
was catastrophic for me. I mean, it
Okay.
was suicidal because a lot of money was
Yeah.
involved. So it took me 4 years
Yes.
to pay off those money. And
Yeah.
after that experience, I didn't really blow accounts per se, oh, but that loss was
Yeah. Like
huge.
you're saying.
And
Yeah.
That was it. So it affected my trading, consciousness, and I started,
S-
taking some step backward, and I got
yeah,
involved seriously in education and encouraging other people and telling my stories. That's how I got involved in the IB thing. I started promoting brokers
yeah,
because I feel that, okay, if I'm not making money from active trading because of how I feel now, let me make money
yes,
from referrals. And the most funny thing is that
yes.
the people that I mentor, that I train, were not doing well. In fact, I have a friend that I had to
Okay.
give him my own account to trade for me. Because you see, Mr. Costa, a point comes in your life as a trader that you
Yes,
can't even place a trade again. You don't have the confidence to trade
yes,
anymore. I'm
yes.
saying,
You
I'm
don't even
telling
know
you.
what's going
So I
on.
had to give,
Yes.
yes, I had to give my phone, my entire account. I gave it to the guy. And this is 10% that I trained from the scratch. He was the one trading and
Ah,
sending me money to survive. I'm not kidding.
ah.
So
No, no.
it's a
Yes, I
long story.
understand. Yes,
It's a long story.
yes,
So when we say the things we
yeah.
say today, we are not just saying it because we want to say it. We say it because we experience
Ex-
it firsthand. Exactly.
exactly,
So that's my
exactly.
story.
And
And then after that
yeah.
episode, everything changed. And then my
Mm-hmm.
confidence came back, and I started managing funds for huge, and that's why I'm very low. If you notice, that was the
Okay.
episode that led to me not being influential. Because if that thing
Mm-hmm.
had not
Mm-hmm.
happened,
Mm-hmm.
I would
Mm-hmm.
have been
Mm-hmm.
I would have been one of the topmost guys that people will see today. I'm telling you.
Everywhere.
So
Yes.
that thing humbled me and said, go down and learn life. And that's what happened. So I just had to, I'm telling you,
Yes.
I couldn't go because there were people that said they were threatening. I need my money back. I would do this. So that
Yes.
thing did not allow me to shine. So I just went slow,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
it formed an image about my person. I don't need to be loud.
Yes.
But today the story has changed. We have handled some very crazy
Yeah.
amount of money, and we're making it. And I decided
Yeah.
to just let me
True.
just stay at that level. There's no point to show off anymore. Exactly.
Sure. Yes. Yeah, and it's an interesting story. But when you're talking about the 2015 to 2016, it was about learning before you started funding your account and all. There's one question I
Exactly.
wanted to ask. Did you pay anyone for mentorship? Did you pay
Sadly,
anyone for
no,
mentorship?
no,
Okay.
we didn't have
Okay. So,
we didn't have people that time. What the only thing I remember that I subscribed to was IML, and that was for just a month.
okay.
That was a period we had the
Okay.
swipe trades, the harmonic scanner stuff, and all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you know
Yeah.
Papa Smurf of Ghana. You should have heard about him, Papa
Yes.
Smurf or
Yes, I've
something.
heard his name.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
Papa Smurf
then
was one of the leaders at the time. Yeah.
okay. Then
So I didn't pay
the
nobody.
question. Okay. Then the question comes back to now that you have an educational, you have an academy that you train people and all. I want to know, why do you think people are not attracted to paying to get the right education, but instead they will say, oh, for me to pay Essien, why don't I put that money in my account and trade? And they will end up blowing it. Why do you think people are not attracted to that?
Well, because you see, I think the problem is because a lot of people are greedy. They are so much on a fast
Okay.
lane to succeed. So they believe that
Okay.
education will take time, because we tell them it will take time.
Ah.
So they don't want to go through
Okay.
the long road. They just want to fund and start trading.
Okay.
And that's why you see a lot of people, they'll go on YouTube. There's nothing wrong with that. I have some resources on YouTube that have helped a lot of people, but I think I have
Yes.
learned a lot. If I had had somebody
Right.
who mentored me, who held my hand and said,
Yeah.
this is the way to do this thing, I don't think I would have made the mistakes I
Yes.
made. Most especially going
Exactly.
into investments just after a year plus of trading. For God's sake, I wouldn't have even
Mm-hmm.
been doing that. But for me, it serves as an experience, which I'm truly grateful for.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
Yeah.
people don't want to pay for education today because they feel that it's going to take time. Why should I pay when there are a lot of resources out there? And we have
Oh, no.
mixed
Yeah.
contribution in the space. There are some that will
Mm-hmm.
say, why do you need to pay? Go to YouTube. You can learn anything there. There are
Yes.
some that will say, you have to pay. Oh. So we have this mixed contribution, and people are just, okay, I think, and they want the easy way. The easy way is that just carry the money, fund my account, go and learn from YouTube, watch videos,
Oh, yeah.
blow that account, continue again. So that's why it's like that. Exactly.
Yes, and yeah, that has been it, and it's funny. But before we even go, okay, I know you have a trading academy. I would want you to tell us a bit about that, and I think you have a program or a project coming up. Would like you to tell us more about
Yes.
your academy, what you offer, what's like your previous projects and your upcoming projects.
Well, let me use the opportunity to speak to IBs who have been struggling to make the numbers. Uh,
Okay.
my academy is Michael Essien Online Trading Academy. Well, it's online and offline actually,
Okay.
but it was first an online
Okay.
trading academy. Basically,
Okay.
what we do is education because I've understood
Okay.
that mentorship is profitable. So
Right.
we don't just train and offer courses, we mentor people. I'm so passionate about
Okay.
people's growth. So I have patience. One thing that God has given to me is patience with people.
Okay.
So I can
Okay.
follow up somebody for almost 1 year until you get it right. So that's what we do.
Okay.
Um, we are a team of 12 very intelligent people who
Oh,
were
okay.
working together. We also have people that
Okay.
manage funds too. We have fund managers within the academy as well, but we are not into
Okay.
investment. We just have all managed funds, and the way they manage it is what I call CSS that I developed last year, Capital Security Solution. You know, people
Okay.
don't want to release their money to a third
Okay.
party directly, so I came up with something that
Mm-hmm.
says, okay, why don't you put this money in an account and then connect it to
Okay.
our expert or to our master account? When we trade,
Okay.
you also make money from it. So that's how we manage funds too,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's it. And then for this year, we there's something I
Yeah.
call the hands-off earners program. You know, we need to
Okay.
understand that people need to understand how secure their money is. The fear
Okay.
of an average man is losing his money. So if you want to
Mm-hmm.
get clients to do forex business with you, maybe an IB, you're listening to me now, don't go about trying to convince them by trying to take their
Okay.
money. Give them reason why they can still make money and the money is still within their reach or within their control. So the hands-off
Right.
earners program is same as CSS, but all you need to do is fund an account with a broker, send us the trading login for those you can trade while
Login.
you monitor how your account is growing, or you can still do the
Okay.
copy trading. That way, and that's one of the
Okay.
secrets I have. That's how I make my numbers because people trust you that you are not
Okay.
after their money. You see that you
Right.
still want them to have possession of their money and you're still providing value for
Yes.
them to increase it. So that's just the
Yes.
secret. And it works like
Okay.
magic.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right, Essien, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your time and your honesty, and also being transparent about some of the challenges in here. Your last words to IBs, brokers, traders. We are ready to listen to you.
All right. For brokers, please work with IBs that have track record, who are also
All right.
value driven, and
Right.
don't give them target that are terrible, that are unachievable.
Right.
Ensure that you're looking at for long-term growth and then you will succeed. For IBs, you
Yeah.
don't need to sleep. You need to work. You need to work. You need to take the pains, take the struggle, and then make sure you provide value. Be patient with your client. A client that is depositing $20 today can give you 20,000 tomorrow. So be patient with everyone.
Right.
Keep providing value. You'll succeed definitely.
Right. All right. Thank you very much, brother. We really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Costa. I love your educational content as well. Thank you very much. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.